What's up, y'all? It's your boy Dawson from D&D TV. Thanks for rating, commenting, and subscribing. Everybody who's donated, those of you all who will, I appreciate it. Also, make sure you go over and check out my other YouTube channel, Dawson Speaks TV. Go over there and subscribe. I appreciate it. First of all, let me give my condolences out to the families and the friends who have lost loved ones out in Parkland. This is a horrible, horrible tragedy, and you all are in my prayers. And I've been seeing this all on the news. And, you know, some of my friends, they were like, well, aren't you going to talk about it? You know, you got a platform. Won't you say something about it? And tell y'all the truth, I usually don't talk about mass shootings because back years ago, Miss D and we would talk about this and gun control and all this kind of stuff. And anything would happen, we'd make a video and we'd talk about it. But what I started to notice is that 3 months from then, 6 months from then, another mass shooting would happen. Something else would happen, and it would be the same talk about gun control. It'd be the same talk about this and all this, and nothing would happen. And I just got tired of doing it because I'm like, the people don't care. And even after Sandy Hook, y'all remember Sandy Hook, when that man went into an elementary school and shot 20 elementary students and 6 teachers, and we didn't do anything about the gun law, nothing changed. I was like, I'm done. I don't know what making another video is going to do. I'm done. I don't know, you know, all this stuff we talk and hashtag this. I'm done. I'm not saying anything about another mass shooting. However, on this particular mass shooting, I had to talk about because what I'm seeing in the news and what I'm reading is that people want us to feel sympathy for this gunman. People keep saying, well, you know, he was an orphan and his mother died in November and his father died when he was 5 and DCF was involved and he was depressed and he was standoffish and, you know, kids made fun of him and all this kind of stuff. Let me tell you something. Y'all sit down. Come on, pull up. Let's talk. I've worked with Department of Children and Family for 2 years. I've worked as a social worker down here in Miami and in Broward for almost 10 years. I've worked with adults and with children. And let me tell you this, a lot of them have mental health diagnosis. I've never had one client or know of any client who went around and committed the atrocities that this young man did. All of this stuff that we want to throw on people with mental health illness. Oh, well, you know, they kind of, it's a mental health. Let me tell y'all something. Y'all need to stop that BS with mental health because there are lawyers, there are teachers, there are doctors, there are some of y'all parents, family members, and friends who have been diagnosed with mental health issues. And they haven't went out and shot up the stores. They haven't shot up churches and gyms and schools. But every time there's a mass shooting, instead of dealing with the real issue, which we need to talk about the gun control, we need to talk about how this 19-year-old got the guns that he had. We always want to throw it on mental health issues. We always want to do that. And I'm telling you that there are people you work around with every day who are on psychotropic medication. Some of them have family therapy. Some of them have group therapy. Some of them have individual therapy. And they're not out here committing these atrocities. So why do we always go and blame people who have mental health issues? And some of you all, and I have to first, let me apologize for Dawson and Denise's show. Because there are some of the people I've had on this show have kind of always mental health. It's mental health. We need to talk about mental health. But let me tell you something. There are people with mental health issues who you work with every day and they're not killing people. Some of y'all dated people or were married to people who you know had a mental health issue. Did they kill you? Obviously not if you're listening to this video. We need to deal with the real issues at hand. And that is the issue that let's give it like y'all wanted to blame Obama for everything. Let's talk about our president. Our president didn't even want to say anything about gun when he did that press conference on this. He put it on mental health illness. This kid was standoffish. You know, he had problems. Oh, come on, bruh. Hold up. Most of the kids in foster care have some sort of problems. But how many of those kids do we read about after they've aged out of foster care that they went and committed this type of atrocity? We don't. We need to deal with what we need to deal with. And you know, I just had to speak on this. Because the same type of treatment that they tried to give Dylan Ruth when he went into that Charleston church and shot those people, the same thing that they did with the Las Vegas shooter, the people from Sandy Hook, those shooters, those gunmen, It's like going back, oh, what was this? They had this going on in their life. They were a loner. They didn't have any friends. They didn't have this. Tough. Sometimes in life you don't have friends. Sometimes you won't have a husband or a wife. It's like I don't feel sympathy for these people. I don't feel sympathy. And no matter what happened in his past, there are people who have horrible past. And when you hear their story and you're like, how did you make it? How are you? Because it's like you have to, sometimes you got to forget about what happened to you in your past and you got to go on in your life. You have to have enough courage and the audacity to get over the broken pieces in your life and get the hell out of the way and move on. I learned that years ago. And when they were talking about him being in DCF, and I was thinking about some of the clients that I had who were about to age out. Some of them parents were on drugs. Some of them, they didn't even know their parents. The parents, yeah, the kids go through stuff. I understand that. But I was that social worker who told you the truth. Look, it's a dog eat dog world, and you got to make bet. You got to take the cards that you've been dealt, and you got to do the best with them. You didn't have a mom. You didn't have a dad. Your mama died. Your daddy died. Hell, people gonna die. Well, you sound harsh. No, I sound real. Because someone needs to tell us the truth. And the thing with him, he needed friends. Oh, well, what hell, bro? Nobody promised you friends. And as you get older, you'll realize that you really don't have as many friends as you think you have. Friendships have to be cultivated. And people nowadays are not willing to make commitments to friendship. So you really just have buddies and just associates. You don't have real friends. You don't. Well, it sounds real. And I think when some of us start dealing with the real issues in our life, we'll be a whole lot better. Instead of putting people in categories saying, this is my friend, they're going to always be there. Why don't you always be there for you? Why don't you get the help that you need so you could be a healthy, functional citizen in society, even if you were in foster care, even if your parents died, even if nobody wanted you, even if you were abused and abandoned? Come on, y'all. It's people who've gotten over stuff. Y'all watch out. Y'all know Dawson knows stuff. Reba McEntire wrote a song years ago, said the world will not stop. The world ain't gonna stop for my broken heart, and it's not gonna stop. America loves success stories, not that, oh, I was in foster care. Oh, and they abused me. Oh, and come on, bro. Nobody ain't got time for that. We all went through stuff, but we didn't go out and kill people. We didn't go out and, commit mass shootings. I'm just upset about this. I really didn't want to talk about it, but I just had to say that because I think people with mental health issues get a bad rap. Now, let me say something else. I appreciate everybody for watching this YouTube show. I appreciate those of you who comment, those of you who send me emails and send stuff through Facebook Messenger. I appreciate all of that. But one thing I will not do is sit here and lie to you, and I won't do it to any of my clients. And that is when it comes to life, y'all. Life at times is hard. And this whole stuff that people tell us, all this stuff about you're going to get married, you're going to have friends, you're going to do this and that. Some of that don't work out. Some of that's not the truth. And even if you're by yourself, if you don't have friends, if you don't have the relationships that you want, you still have to make the best with your life. No one's going to feel sorry for you because people are dealing with their own issues. And you have to be careful. Serious, y'all. You got to be careful because I'm reading up on a lot of stuff on this shooter. And they're saying, oh, if he had a girlfriend and he was looking for a girlfriend and if he had friends, nobody promised you that. Nobody promised you that. And some of us, you think you have friends, but what you really have is people who just use you and abuse you. And they play on your naivete because you'll accept anything off of anybody just to have somebody. And people can treat you any type of way just as long as they say, oh, I'm your friend. And you're so desperate for people that you let them do that. And I told y'all, I think I said it a little earlier, but if not, I was told early on as a child that you really don't have friends. And now as a grown man, I see that now. You have associates. You have people that you can hang out with. But friendships and relationships have to be cultivated. It takes time. And see, people don't explain that to us. So a lot of us get in situations and then we get the bad end of the deal or the short end of the stick. And now we're upset. That's all I'm going to talk about now. Look, again, my condolences goes out to the families and the friends who have lost loved ones in the Parkland shooting. Let me know what you think about this topic and this video down in the comments. Do you think it was mental illness that drove this gunman to commit this mass shooting, or do you think it was just an act of hatred? Just he was evil? And also let me know, how do you all feel about the news media, how they try to humanize these gunmen and mass shooters after they commit these types of atrocities? Until next time, it's your guy Dawson. Thank you for listening. Take care of yourself and each other, but most importantly, please take care of yourself. Peace.